first question is your new song, Mona Lisa, just came out. Tell us a
Mm-hmm.
little bit about writing that song.
Yeah, of course. So, I mean, that song's all about like being confident and hot. I guess like the funny thing maybe about that is it was inspired by not feeling that way. I feel like I had gone into a lot of writing sessions and I had written a lot of sad songs or like, or I had just been like feeling really sad. And so I walked into a writing session and I was just like, you guys, I'm so tired of being sad. Like, I'm so tired of being sad. I'm so tired of feeling insecure. Can we please just like write something that's fun, that's like gonna make me feel confident and make anyone feel confident and like just about being hot. And they were really excited about that because I feel like, because they were like, oh, same, like we've just been writing sad songs lately. And so I had this title in my phone, just Modern Mona Lisa, that I was like, that could be a really fun song to write about being hot. And so I told them that title that I wanted to write a song called that about, just being hot and confident, and they were really excited about it. So we wrote that song that day and like created a demo, and this was back in September of 2023. So it was a little while ago, but yeah, we wrote it that day and it was so much fun. And I feel like when we finished writing that, I just was like, I feel like I'd been in a creative rut for a really long time, but then when we wrote that one, I just like feel like I was like, yep, this is the vibe I want to do. This is the kind of music I like want to make. So it was really fun.
So, you also recently released your song, Hysteria. Can you tell
Mhm.
us a little bit about the story behind that?
Yeah, of course. That one kind of has like a different background. I wrote that one last December, December of 2023. So it was after I wrote Modern Mona Lisa. And I actually am involved in a podcast that I'm a co-host of called More Than a Muse Podcast. And on that podcast, we talk a lot about like women's history and like women artists that have been forgotten. And we did an episode all about the concept of hysteria, which is essentially kind of like a made up medical thing that they would diagnose women with in the 20th century. And a lot of times that was like in replacement of like actual ailments that like could have been treated, but they're just like, oh, she just has hysteria, let's go lock her away, kind of a thing. And when I learned about that, I mean, I didn't really know just how deep that history ran and how real that was. And so when I learned about that, I thought it would be really cool to take that title and kind of like reclaim that in a song. And so I wanted to write Hysteria. And I actually wrote it with the same people that I wrote Modern Mona Lisa with, which is really fun. And they're incredible people to work with. And yeah, when I brought the word hysteria to them and said and kind of explained that background and was like, I think this would be a really fun thing to reclaim as like a way of like owning your life and being proud of yourself, even if like other people are not agreeing with what you're doing or whatever. So yeah, that's what that was inspired by.
So, well, you've released a lot of songs recently.
Mhm.
Is there like an EP or an album in the works?
Yes, there is an EP that I'm hopefully going to be coming out with at the end of this year. I'm still figuring out the date. I just have one more song that I'm finishing up still. But there'll be a 4-track EP, and Modern Mona Lisa is actually the title track for it. So that's fun. I released the title track pretty early though, just because I felt like it was a song that needed to come out in summertime. So yeah, I'm excited about that though.
I'm excited. I've actually been a fan of yours for a while, and I love your drama EP. I was at
Yeah.
the little Zoom release you
I was
did.
just gonna say, I remember that you would come to that Zoom release party. Uh-huh.
Oh wow. Yeah, I don't usually send those, but I came to yours. Found you
I'm,
on TikTok and
yeah,
listened.
I'm really grateful that you did. That was a couple years ago at this point. So thanks for still being interested in what I'm doing.
Yeah, of course. Why do you think maybe your music process has changed between that EP and this one?
That's a really good question. I think that that was actually something I kind of struggled with because when I started working on that EP, I had a very set story that I wanted to tell from a chapter in my life that had happened years previously. And so but I feel like once I released that music, I like officially like closed that chapter of my life. Like I don't have any desire to revisit that ever again. Um, so I was kind of struggling for a little while of like what Daisy would be and what kind of music I wanted to make. And I felt like I was writing in like different genres, even like more like folk and more acoustic stuff. And yeah, I was just kind of like struggling, I think, a little bit. Um, but that's why I said, like, when I wrote the song Modern Mona Lisa, I think it really clicked for me of like, I really love pop music and I really just love making songs that are joyful and make people feel confident. And so I kind of, yeah, I guess like writing Modern Mona Lisa really was a very solidifying thing because I was able to do that. And then another fun thing too is like I recently moved to Nashville, and so I've had the opportunity just to like collaborate and like meet so many amazing songwriters and producers. And so I think that's like just made me a better writer, and I think made my songs even better in the last couple of years. So yeah, a lot has changed, honestly, because before I was recording all the vocals in my basement and sending out everything to producers that they were doing. And now I'm a lot more involved in the production in the room and I'm, recording the vocals with them. So it's super different, but it's super fun as well.
Nice. What is your song writing process like? Like, do you like collaborate with a lot of people? I mean, you said that, but like,
Yeah.
do you feel like
I
songwriters and
I like collaborating with other people, just because I think it can just help the song be the best that it can be. And yeah, with each song that is coming out for the EP, there's one other person that I co-wrote it, and then there's a producer that helped as well. Each idea is something that like I brought to the session. Like I had all these titles kind of like in my phone or like a couple like lines added. Like with Hysteria, I didn't really have anything, but I knew the concept and we were able to flesh it out together. So I really like conceptualizing things, and then sometimes it's fun just to like have one more person in there to help me kind of, polish it and make it the best. So
I
yeah.
saw your tweet the other day about you moved 2 years ago to Nashville from Salt Lake City. What
Hmm.
has life been like in Nashville since making that big move?
What's it been like to be in
Yeah.
Nashville?
Yeah.
I mean, it's been really fun. Like I said, I've met so many cool songwriters and producers. And I think, I mean, I love where I'm from. I love my home, but I think there's just so many more people out here that are making music. And so to have the ability to connect with them and like see them in person is really cool. And it just helps my music and everything I'm doing be better and better. So it's been really fun. It's been cool to be here.
Nice. I actually haven't interviewed anyone from Salt Lake City that I'm aware of, but
Yeah,
if
I
you,
I know there's not a lot. There's some music people out there, but yeah.
yeah, if you feel in, they're trying to make it like a hot spot now.
Hmm.
How do you think that's doing, being from there?
I mean, I think good. I know so many amazing musicians that are in the Utah area and in the Salt Lake City area and like in the Provo area where I went to college. And I think it's really cool. And I think that I'm sure you don't have to necessarily go to a music city like Nashville, LA, or New York or anything to make music. I think there's so many local music scenes that are incredible. So I think they're doing an amazing job. I love to see what my friends are doing, and I know there's people in there that are really passionate about making that local music scene. Yeah, so I think it's awesome what they're doing.
Awesome. Now, you recently covered Taylor Swift's Anti-Hero. What led
Mm,
you to recording and making that song and also making it the sad door version?
yeah. Well, I actually just record like just almost as like a exercise one night. I rewrote the bridge to kind of make it something a little bit more, I don't know, personal to me because, she sings about being a millionaire with leaving all of her future children money, and I don't have that yet. Um, or maybe ever. But um so I rewrote the bridge and I posted on social media and it got a lot of really positive feedback. And so when that happened, I figured it could just be a fun thing to put out. that was, I think, when I was still a little bit unsure about like what Daisy was gonna be and like what music I wanted to release. But I knew I wanted to put out something. And when that rewrite got a lot of feedback, that was really good. I yeah, just kind of used it as like a good creative thing for me to do. And yeah, put out the anti-hero sad girl version.
Nice. Now I have to ask, what's your favorite Taylor Swift era?
Oh my gosh. I'm a Reputation girl. Always and forever, I think. I my top three favorite albums are Reputation, Red, and Folklore. I don't really know the order, but like I think as a whole, my favorite era is definitely Reputation, for sure.
Now, I know you're in Nashville, but are there any artists you would like to open for or go on tour with one
Oh my
day?
gosh, there's so many I would love to. Like Maisie Peters, I think would be such a cool. I love her so much. Um, I'm trying to think of who else I've been loving recently. I've been obsessed with Chappell Roan, of course, recently. And I mean, obviously, there's the big artists like Taylor Swift that I'm always obsessed with. Oh, I'm trying to, yeah. And Casey Musgraves is another one that I love. I mean, she's country, and I don't know if necessarily, there's an overlap there, but I do love her. And so, yeah, those are some artists that I've just been loving lately too.
Now, you're known for your petty pop genre.
Mhm.
Are there any movie or TV characters that you think would fit in the petty pop genre or have you on one of their playlists?
That's such a fun question. Um, I feel like Elle Woods from Legally Blonde. I feel like she's, the kind of person who full on went and got into Harvard to try and get her boyfriend back and then ended up being a better lawyer than him. Like, I feel like her whole arc is giving very petty pop, actually. And I think Elle Woods is my favorite fictional character. So,
Right.
yeah.
I was even thinking like the Sharpay Evans.
Oh my gosh. How did I forget? Of course, Sharpay Evans is my muse. Oh my goodness. And Hannah Montana.
Yeah.
I think like I was definitely grew up loving Disney Channel. High School Musical, Hannah Montana, all of that. So I've definitely used Sharpay Evans as like a muse of like, because she was so confident, she didn't care what was going, like she was a little mean sometimes. She did a little things that were uncalled for. Like she was the villain at some moments, but I think going back and watching these movies now, it's like, you know what? That girl just cared about her theater department and she was doing the best she could. And the outfits were always serving. So, we love Sharpay.
Now, my final question is, do you have a recommendation? Now, this could be absolutely anything from a show, a movie, a place, store, food, like advice, anything that you can imagine, you can pose a recommendation.
Oh my gosh, what a fun. Okay, yes, actually. Um, I don't know if you've like ever heard about the Utah soda shops. And basically it's kind of the thing Utah's known for where they have like kind of they have soda shops where you can go and like order things and they mix things together. So, and I need to start making, I'm planning on starting to make some TikTok videos about my go-to soda shop orders. But if you get a Diet Coke or a Coke Zero and you put a little bit of coconut creamer in it, like what you'd put in a coffee, and then squeeze some fresh lime into it, it's delicious. So that would be my recommendation of the best way to enjoy a Diet Coke is with a little bit of coconut cream and fresh lime.
Ooh, nice. Definitely a different recommendation that we've
Yeah.
gotten lately, so but I love it.
That's
Um,
something that's been on my mind lately though, because I did recommend it to some people who follow me on Instagram and they tried it and they're like, "Wait, that's actually really good." And I'm like, "I'm telling you, I'm telling you." So, there's my recommendation.